Hello Sagittarius, my name is Keith Haswell and I'm a professional astrologer with 40 years experience in the business, over 30,000 clients worldwide and more than 35 years experience in teaching astrology as well. It's my pleasure to welcome you Sagittarius to this particular video on your cycles for September and October 2014. Now I've done a whole heap of videos as well. There's 130 odd videos that I've done on all aspects of personal and spiritual growth. Sagittarius, all designed to help you to become more of the giant that you truly are. And what I'm going to do for you on this video, those videos, by the way, have already had 250,000, over 250,000 viewings now. Some of them alone have had 10,000 viewings. So I'm very happy with the way that the message is getting out there. So what I'm going to do for you, Sagittarius, on this video is to, first of all, tell you a few things about yourself. That's always a lot of fun. Because if you can see a correlation between the description of your personality and the experiences of your lifetime conditions and circumstances that you'll experience, if you can see a correlation with that, then it makes it worthy of investigation further into the science of astrology. But what I'm going to do for you after I've described your personality is then tell you what's going on with regard to your cycles for September and October 2014. In that 2-month period, Sagittarius, the faster moving bodies, the Sun, Mercury, Venus and Mars, move through various houses of your horoscope, creating conditions and circumstances in your life that represent opportunities for you to be able to make decisions and choices. So I'll tell you what sort of conditions and circumstances and what sort of testing environments that you'll encounter in this 2-month period. And then I'm going to also look at the slower moving bodies of Jupiter, which takes 12 months to transit through a particular house of your horoscope, and Saturn, which takes 2.5 years to transit through a particular house of your horoscope. But I'll tell you what sort of impact that they're having in your life in the recent past and also presently. So you just sit back and relax now, Sagittarius, and enjoy the journey here with me, eh? Now, you are a very goal-oriented person, Sagittarius. You're very loving and you're very sports-minded, very frank, straightforward and to the point. You call a spade a spade. And you're really very adventurous. You love travel and you're very philosophical too. You're always out to expand your understanding about other civilizations and cultures and so forth, alternative religions and that sort of thing, philosophies and science as well, to try and get to the root of what goes on here in this space-time rule set that we call our physical reality. So you are an adventurer and very goal-oriented type of person, but there's a distinct sense of duality in your nature too, Sagittarius. You feel sometimes as if there's two people in the one body. You do have a lot of frustrations with regard to money matters. That's one of your big bugbears in life, is difficulties with money and handling money. You have problems. It seems as if the money dries up from time to time, and you have difficulties balancing the budget. You do experience a bit of throat or neck trouble from time to time, and you seem to have a sense of practicality when it comes to money matters, but you learn that practicality the hard way, Sagittarius. Now, you have a very futuristic mind. You're capable of developing deep understanding about scientific matters, and you always enjoy being out on a limb with different points of view. That's something in your communication with other people, especially with those close to you like relatives and neighbours. You always put forward an alternative point of view to what they all have. And you enjoy that. You enjoy being different. You enjoy being unique. And you are strongly attracted, therefore, to things like mathematics and science and eventually astrology, meditation and reincarnation and New Age philosophies. You drive an unusual motor vehicle. You're attracted towards motor vehicles that are of an unusual make or an unusual model, and you have alternative methods of transportation too, perhaps. You could have a motorbike or a bicycle on the weekend and a car through the week, for example. Or you could go to work by train or bus, compared with on the weekend you use your car or your other means of transport. So there's a bit of duality there. There's some strange circumstances occur in your life revolving around relatives and neighbours. You've got some odd bods, what you might say, among your relatives. Now you live near the water at some time in your life, Sagittarius, and you enjoy that. You live near a hospital, church or a school at some time in your life. And you really love living near the water. If you can't live near the water, you'll have a fish tank in the home or a swimming pool in the backyard, or you have pictures on the walls of rivers and the ocean and so forth. And you seem to have some secrets there connected with your family that you're not able to openly discuss with outsiders. So there's some degree of secrecy there. It's either to do with something that's shameful in the family, such as alcoholism or drug addiction of a parent, or some secrecy surrounding a parent that causes concern for you, or something there to do with the domestic and family side of life that represents a lot of insecurities and secret worries for you, potential for shame, and could be a parent who was incarcerated or had some addictive patterns of behaviour that the family was a bit embarrassed about, or something like that. Now, there seems to be some deep books around the place on the spiritual side of life. Now, you seem to be very involved in sports. You love vigorous sports. And you jump into a few hasty relationships in your life, Sagittarius. You're certainly not one to think very carefully about falling in love. You've probably fallen in love heaps of times. And you can get your fingers burnt quite a few times in relationships and romance and love. A lot of interest in the sporting side of life, whether it could be as a spectator, but you do like to watch aggressive sports and that sort of thing. And there's a lot of involvements with the children in their sporting interests and things like that as well. Now, you work with money, finances or accounts in your job. You don't like many changes in your job, Sagittarius. You like stability as far as your job is concerned. You love rich food, and you can pack on the pounds because of that. And you love food that's not good for you as well. Now, you have more than one relationship, more than one marriage, more than one partnership in life, I would suggest. You could even have two going at the one time. And there's a distinct sense of duality there in your nature to do with relationships. So you could quite feasibly have a secret relationship going on the side at some time along the way. Well, that'll do, Sagittarius, as far as a description of your personality and some of the conditions and circumstances that you'll experience on a lifetime basis. Now what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to look at the movements of the Sun, Mercury, Venus and Mars on a week-by-week basis over the 2 months from the 1st of September to the end of October. And I'll tell you where these planets are at the beginning of the month, the 1st of September, And those circumstances and conditions will remain like it's on a timeline until that planet or that body moves into a different house of your horoscope and therefore starts a different set of conditions and circumstances. Now, these conditions and circumstances are not necessarily all going to happen, but these are all potentials there for events and conditions in your life. And some of these events won't make any sense to you at all because of your circumstances in life. But it's a broad spectrum look at things that are going on in your life. On the 1st of September, Sagittarius, you've got the Sun and Mercury both in the 10th house of your horoscope. Now, what that means is that there's a focus upon the career, business, dealings with government departments and dealings with parents in this initial start of the month. There's a lot more communication with parents if they're still alive, a lot of communications with government departments if they're still alive. And you've got Venus is in the 9th house of your horoscope on the 1st of September. So that sees an attraction towards social involvements with people from overseas, can see distant travel for you, can see social involvements revolving around spiritual and higher educational matters. And it can see a lot of involvements with in-laws if they play a prominent part in your life. Romantic involvements through journeys, it's a good time for travel. Mars is in the 12th house of your horoscope, Sagittarius, at the beginning of the month. Now, when Mars is in the 12th house of your horoscope, it's not a very good time for you. It can see a lot of secret worries, deceptive practices, slipping back into habit patterns of behaviour that you felt that you'd risen above, your addictive patterns of behaviour in other words, and you can be your own worst enemy when Mars is in the 12th house of your horoscope, so you can undo yourself, sabotage yourself and do things which are not in your own best interests. Now, the first change that we have, Sagittarius, is on the 3rd of September when Mercury moves into the 11th house of your horoscope, and that starts a period of a couple of weeks where you have a lot more communication with other people's children if they play a prominent part in your life, through your friends, a lot more involvements with friends, a lot more communications with friends, and a lot more communications out there in group activities like club activities and so forth. On the 6th of September, Venus moves into the 10th house of your horoscope, Sagittarius. And when Venus is in the 10th house of your horoscope, it's a good time for you in career and business. So any changes that you wanted to make there is favoured. It's a time of active social involvements with parents if they play a prominent part in your life. And also a lot of social involvements with business associates and things like that. So it's a very good time for you in business. On the 14th of September, Sagittarius, Mars moves into the 1st house of your horoscope and starts a couple of weeks of you being rather aggressive and assertive in your nature, rather dominant in your nature. You can be impulsive in commencing and starting projects and therefore get your fingers burned. And there can be stresses and tensions for you, headaches and things like that. You can be subject to fevers and things like that. On the 24th of September, the Sun moves into the 11th house and remains there for 30 days. That focuses your attention upon friends, group activities and club activities, and other people's children can play a more prominent part in your life. On the 28th of September, Sagittarius, Mercury moves into the 12th house of your horoscope. And with Mercury in the 12th house of your horoscope, there's a lot of secret worries. Could be a visit to hospital to see a relative. Secret worries connected with business matters and career and job matters and health and dietary matters. And then on the 30th of September, Venus moves into the 11th house of your horoscope, Sagittarius, and that sees a great deal more happiness through friends. Other people's children play a prominent part in your life socially. You'll be out and about to mix with people more, club activities, group activities, and it's a good time to form friendships, and you'll be quite outgoing in your affections with friends. Now on the 5th of October, Sagittarius, Mercury goes retrograde. Now planets don't actually go in a backward motion, but the movement of the Earth around the Sun creates the impression sometimes with other planets, according to the background space, that the planet is actually going in a backwards motion because the Earth is moving faster around the Sun than that planet is moving around the Sun. Now that is what's called retrograde, and Mercury remains retrograde between the 5th of October and the 26th of October. So for a 21-day period, a 3-week period, Mercury is retrograde, and that has an impact upon you in 2 ways. First of all, it makes you start dwelling in the past. So you start reflecting upon things that have happened in the past and reflecting upon things, and your mind can't see a clear vision to the future when you're thinking about the past all the time. But Mercury also has impact when it's retrograde upon other houses of your horoscope, and in your case, Sagittarius, it has an impact upon your relationship with your partner. So there's a lot of things that are dredged up there by your partner about the past. It's not good to do with legal matters, and it's not good to do with contracts and agreements and things like that. And it's not good for partnerships and things like that and dealings with the public. And Mercury also impacts upon the 10th house of your horoscope, which impacts upon your dealings with government departments, secret worries about that area of your life, and also career and business. Matters relating to parents can come to the fore. Things from the past to do with parents can emerge all of a sudden. Now the next movement that we have is on the 24th of October, Sagittarius. The Sun moves into the 12th house of your horoscope for 30 days. Now when the Sun is in the 12th house of your horoscope, there can be a visit to hospital to see somebody. There can be a lot of secret worries and insecurities. You can be your own worst enemy, Sagittarius, when the Sun is in the 12th house of your horoscope. So you can do things or say things which are not in your own best interests. Addictive patterns of behaviour can come up, and secret worries and insecurities within yourself can arise. And Venus is also in the 12th house of your horoscope on the same date. And that means with Venus in the 12th house of your horoscope, there's a strong possibility of you getting involved in some sort of secret romantic attachment, or having a lot of secret worries to do with finances, or else to do with romance and love matters. Now the last movement that we have in that month is on the 27th of October, Sagittarius, when Mars moves into the 2nd house of finances. And that commences a 30-day period of, or 20 days or whatever. It starts a period of tension to do with money matters, impulsiveness with money, throat and neck trouble, and a lot of stresses and tensions regarding matters relating to your sense of security in life. But you will be impulsive with expenditure, be likely to spend on things that you turn around later and regret. So just watch out for that sort of thing happening. Now what I'm going to do for you, Sagittarius, is I'm going to look at the movement of Jupiter in this 2-month period for you. First of all, Jupiter takes 12 months to transit through a particular house of your horoscope, and Jupiter, Sagittarius, is currently in the 9th house of your horoscope. It's been there for about a month, and it will be there for another 11 months. Now, when Jupiter is in the 9th house of your horoscope, it's a very good time for you for overseas travel. It's a very good time socially through in-laws. It's a very good time for you to do with adult education and expansion of your consciousness. So you'll have a tremendous urge within yourself, Sagittarius, during this 11 months that's ahead of you, to expand your understanding through study, research and investigation of the various philosophies of life. And that's one of the reasons why you've brought yourself to my videos and to my website. Now, also, something else happens with regard to Jupiter in this is specific just to this 2 months, and that is that Jupiter moves 10 degrees in the zodiac. It moves between 10 degrees Leo and 20 degrees Leo, Sagittarius. Now, what that means is that if you've got any planets in your horoscope that are natally there in your horoscope at the time of your birth, between 10 degrees and 20 degrees Leo, what that means, Sagittarius, is that it means that Jupiter forms a conjunction with that planet at sometime in that 2-month period. And you're going to want to know about that, because that represents, let's say for example that you had 2 planets in that 10 degree segment of your horoscope. What that means is that Jupiter forms a conjunction with 2 planets in your horoscope, and that you want to know about, because that represents a wonderful opportunity for you. Jupiter is a major beneficial influence in our life, and it represents an opportunity for growth, expansion and benefit in your life from those conjunctions. And so what I'm prepared to do for you, Sagittarius, when you submit your birth details, even if you had your horoscope done by me in the past, you can submit your birth details again, and I'm happy to do your horoscope chart again for you. And you submit your birth details, if you're new, through my website, www.mysteryofsirius.com, and I'll send you your horoscope chart. And I'll tell you in the email that I send to you whether you've got any planets in that particular section, and when those conjunctions happen, and also what impact that's going to have in your life. What events and conditions and houses of your horoscope are impacted, and what type of events that you will experience in that 2-month period. So that's a very important service that I'm offering to you there, simply by putting in your birth details. That's all done for you free of charge. Now then we move on to Saturn. Now Saturn is in the 12th house of your horoscope, Sagittarius, and it's been there for the last 12 months. So the description that I'm going to give you now, you've already experienced, and it goes on for another 18 months. Now, when Saturn is in the 12th house of your horoscope, there's a lot of insecurities for you to do with business and career. There's potential for the hospitalization of a parent, or secret worries about a parent, and matters relating to your finances in particular are creating a very difficult time with a lot of secret worries and insecurity, Sagittarius, during this last 12 months and the next 18 months. But more specific to this 2-month period, Saturn moves 5 degrees from 18 degrees Scorpio to 23 degrees Scorpio in this 2-month period. And if you've got any planets there in that 5-degree segment of your horoscope, then you're going to want to know about that, because it means that Saturn forms a conjunction with those planets in those degrees sometime in this 2-month period. And that's a very detrimental time in your life, because it brings frustration and difficulties through other areas of your horoscope that I will tell you about. And you want to know about that, because that can avert a crisis. You can make decisions and choices during that time which are not in your own best interests. And by being forewarned, Sagittarius, you can be forearmed, and you can avert a crisis that would normally occur. That's the idea of having a horoscope done. A horoscope gives you a roadmap in life so that you know what's coming up, and you can take full advantage of opportunities as they present themselves, but you can avert crises when they present themselves as well. So you can avert a crisis. So that gives you an understanding there of what I'm prepared to do for you, Sagittarius. Now, I'm here to help you, Sagittarius, to develop spiritual perception. Now, what does that mean, you ask yourself? Well, spiritual perception, by spiritual perception I mean to be able to perceive life from a spiritual perspective. To perceive life, in other words, from a spiritual point of view. Now, I posit the suggestion, Sagittarius, that how can you possibly see life from any other perspective? Our life, our whole reality, is a giant spiritual classroom. But that's not what's out there by science. Science says that the planets can have no impact whatsoever upon your personality or the events or conditions in your life, that everything happens by random chance, and that the planets can have no impact upon you, that astrology is a load of hogwash. And yet, I ask science this question: if we've all evolved just through the process of evolution and we only have this one lifetime, then I ask science the question, what is the evolutionary benefit if we've supposed to have evolved into higher and higher species as we've gone on through the process of evolution? What is the evolutionary purpose of us having individual fingerprints? Your fingerprints are individual to you, Sagittarius. What's the evolutionary benefit of us having fingerprints at all? Why don't we just have plain skin there? That would suffice for all the evolutionary development that we need. And your iris, you can be identified, Sagittarius, by your iris. Your iris is also individual and unique to you. What's the evolutionary benefit of that? Why don't we all just have the same sort of eye without having an individual iris? Now, I say to science that for them to postulate the idea that this reality of ours, that all of our beautiful bodies all happened as a result of some fortuitous set of circumstances set about by an explosion out there in space, and the process of evolution, I say that the chances of that happening and our bodies being developed through that evolutionary process, I say to you that that is the same as saying that a Boeing 747, with all of its electronic intricacy and wonder, all fell into place as a result of an explosion in an engineering factory. That's the same thing, Sagittarius. What I'm saying to you, Sagittarius, is that there is design in the universe, and that means that there's a designer there. And that designer is God, Goddess, all that is. And they love you, Sagittarius, and they know your name. And they want you to become all that you can be and more. And you, Sagittarius, have lived hundreds of lifetimes just in the last 90,000 years to get where you are today. You didn't just pop in as a fully evolved, intelligent human being as you are. You have evolved through the human family to get where you are today through hundreds of lifetimes. And each lifetime that you've come into incarnation, you have set yourself certain tasks and certain focuses to develop qualities, principles and values that you were lacking in that particular lifetime. And I'm happy to tell you in these videos that I release all about how it all works and how it all functions and how reincarnation works and all that side of things. But also I'm happy to tell you a lot more than that, Sagittarius. When you submit your birth details, I send you your horoscope chart, I send you your analysis on your particular video for your particular sign. I also send you a list of my 130 other videos apart from these that are all to do with personal growth and spiritual growth. On top of that, I also send you 12 CDs, Sagittarius, out of my first book, What Really Matters, all about astrology, meditation and reincarnation. And those 12 CDs are using my voice with beautiful backing music, and I take you in and out of meditation time and time again, Sagittarius, to help you to expand your consciousness about the nature of reality and your place in that reality. And there's also an opportunity for you for the expenditure of $10. I'm happy to do your horoscope number 2. Now, horoscope number 2 is not just about your sun sign and your rising sign, which is what horoscope number 1 is all about. Horoscope number 2 portrays you as an individual, because you are a unique individual. There won't be another person born with the same horoscope as you, Sagittarius, for another 25,000 years. Let me explain that to you. The sun is in a particular sign, it makes you a certain sun sign. The point on the eastern horizon at the time of your first breath is what determines the rising sign or your ascendant. And that's what this particular video that you're watching now is based on. But you are also made up of other important factors of your nature, such as your emotions, which are ruled by the location of the moon, your mind, which is ruled by the location of Mercury, your love nature, which is ruled by the location of Venus, your energy levels, which are ruled by the location of Mars, your higher mind, which is ruled by your location of Jupiter, your practicality and organisational ability, Sagittarius, determined by the location of Saturn in your horoscope. Your intuition is determined by your location of Uranus, and Neptune is your spirituality, and Pluto is your capacity to transform yourself. Now, all of these planets are in various signs, and they form aspects or relationships with each other, depending on how well you've done in past lives, Sagittarius. And depending on what's happened between you and your higher self in past lifetimes, you've got certain tests that you've set for yourself in this lifetime, and certain qualities, principles and values that you have set for yourself to develop in this particular lifetime. Don't you want to know about that? So for only $10, I'm happy to send you a 20-page printout, a beautiful 20-page printout, that's sent to you by email, that tells you where all of these planets are, what aspects that they form with each other, what houses that they sit in, and therefore what events and conditions will be brought about by these planetary placements and configurations, and also what qualities, principles and values that you're in the process of developing in this particular incarnation. Don't you want to know about that, Sagittarius? Don't you want to know how well developed you are from past lifetimes? So for only $10, I'm happy to do that for you and to send that to you. So that's about all I need to say to you, and there's just a wonderful opportunity now for you to take a gigantic step forward in the expansion of your consciousness by having your horoscope done by me through my website www.mysteryofsirius.com. And I want to help you to become all that you can be and more, and to develop those qualities, principles and values inside of yourself. Look, there's just so much there that are in my videos and in my CDs, and once you've done those 12 CDs which are sent to you free of charge with horoscope number 1, then you can access 24 CDs out of my second book called Coming Home, An Eternal Journey. We never get home, Sagittarius, we're always coming home. But this 24 CDs out of my deeper book, Coming Home, An Eternal Journey, explains about quantum physics and the holographic nature of reality and cosmic science and the deeper aspects of our spiritual growth and personal growth. And that's all available to you as you progress through my intensives. And that's just a wonderful opportunity for you to take a gigantic step forward in the expansion of your consciousness and to make this lifetime, Sagittarius, a lifetime that counts. Don't you want to be able to take advantage of that and to take a gigantic step forward in the expansion of your consciousness? Because you can grow and reach and stretch into higher levels of consciousness beyond the human level altogether. The fact that we're all here in this level of consciousness means that we're the laggards. We're all the slowpokes, Sagittarius. We're hanging on to our addictive patterns of behaviour and our struggles and our hardship and our negativities and so forth. We're all hanging on to our addictive patterns of behaviour that we can let go of. And that's what keeps us here in this dimension of reality. But we can progress into higher dimensions of reality beyond the human level altogether. And what goes on there? I explain to you what goes on there in my deeper book, Coming Home, An Eternal Journey. So don't you want to know about these things? Don't you want to know about how long you've been going and what you're developing in this lifetime? And how you can become more of the giant that you truly are, Sagittarius? So I thank you for your attentiveness here, and I look forward to working further with you should you decide to submit your birth details. Thank you.